Hi and welcome to this next induction, which is the stiff arm induction. Now, this induction is also very good at using as a commitment, to get a commitment. So this is slightly different. I'll go into the commitment part after the induction. So the setup for the induction would be something like, I want you to put your arm out in front of you. I'll do it this way so you can get a better view. Do it that way, you don't really see much. So your arm is stiff. So then you probably stand in front of the client at this point. If you stand in front of them right here, you can then say, I want you to imagine. So use that word imagine. It's very good for getting the client in the right position in their mind. I want you to imagine now, clench your fist and imagine there's a steel rod going right the way down your arm. Now imagine that right now. Now, all of this, again, relies on eye focus, because if you're not focusing them somewhere, they're looking around the room and they're not really connected to what we're doing. So I get them to stare at their knuckle right here. Doesn't really matter. It could be this part here, but anywhere they have to stare at something. All right. So otherwise they're just kind of looking around the room and they're not engaged. So at this point, I'd say stare at this knuckle. Really stare, really feel that staring and feel the steel rod go down your arm. Imagine that now, a steel rod going down your arm. Now you keep going around that a little bit. Just imagine that feeling of a stiff steel rod. Use words like that, you know, stiff, connected, hard. Feel that now. And then when you're ready, I want you to test and see how this steel rod is absolutely making your arm solid. Just try to bend your elbow. Now, this is that double bind again. You'll notice this is in a lot of the videos. Just try to bend your elbow. But when you try to bend it, you'll notice the steel rod makes your arm so stiff that you cannot bend it. It's absolutely locked, stiff and rigid. So they'll try, and that's it. Just try to bend. But notice now it becomes even more stuck, stiff, rigid, locked. Use words like that. Locked, stiff, rigid. That's it. Really notice it. Now I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes and now allow your arm to drop down slowly. Slowly dropping down. Now this becomes the deepener then. So as they slowly drop their arm down, tell them again what's going to happen. As your arm touches your leg or falls into your lap, you can then relax your arm and the steel rod instantly goes. You don't want them sitting like this all the time, otherwise it's like they'll be doing the whole session like this. That's not going to be good for your client. So as their arm comes down, just like, oh, that's it. Just feel it now, just relaxing away. And then go into your deepener if you need another deepener on top of that. Now, for a lot of clients, that will be deep enough. But for some, you may need to do another deepener, 1 to 5, 5 to 1, going down some steps, you know, whatever you want to use, getting a lift, use an escalator. There's so many different deepeners that you can do if you need to. Lots of clients, that will be enough. Okay? So just notice that, practice it, get your words. Now, how do we use this then as a commitment? So this is really good to use. Doesn't necessarily have to be stiff to do this. So you'll do your session and it may be, let's take stop smoking as an example. It can be anything whatsoever, but it's where there's a commitment to change. So what you'll do is then say, I want you to raise your arm, and you might even hold their arm. Say, I'm going to hold your arm up. So always tell them you're going to touch them, because otherwise they'll be in hypnosis and they won't realize, oh, what are you doing now? And it may bring them out of the hypnotic state. So tell them, I'm going to take hold of your arm and I'm going to lift your arm up, and I want it to stay exactly where I put it. So it may not need to be stiff like the stiff arm, but it will be here, and it might be like that. It doesn't really matter as long as it's up in the air. This is called arm catalepsy. So you might, if you want to do a bit more research on it, you'll see arm catalepsy being the phrase to use. So their arm will be here. Now you could say, clench a fist and make your arm stiff. Doesn't matter, but you can if you want to. So they've got their arm like this, and then you'll say something like, now you've become a non-smoker. When you are 100% committed to being that non-smoker, you can slowly lower your arm down. And as you slowly lower your arm down, that commitment becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. So what we're doing is we're using the commitment to be an ex-smoker, drinker, drug taker, whatever, as this is the commitment. Now, this is the clever bit, if you like, is if they're not 100% committed, effectively in their head, they should stay like that, shouldn't they? So some clients actually do stay like it for a long while. And you think, how committed are you then? Are you committed? Because you've already done your therapeutic session. But this is the commitment part. When you are 100% committed, slowly lower your arm down. So this really gets their commitment. Now, if you think about it, what's going on in their head, if they put their arm down and they're not committed, well, they're only cheating you and cheating themselves. But if they are 100% committed and they slowly lower their arm down, that increases their commitment so much more, because you've given them something to increase that commitment. As your arm goes down, your commitment increases. That's it. Really feel it. Really be committed now. Smoking is in the past. Drinking is in the past. Whatever it's about, it's in the past. They are no longer doing that. And congratulate them. When their arm drops down, congratulate. Well done. That's brilliant. You are now an ex-smoker. Smoking is no longer something you do. Well done. Because that's good, isn't it? You've got a commitment there. So you can use the stiff arm, or just even the arm catalepsy, whether it's like this or whatever. It really doesn't matter. And then slowly dropping it down. You can use it two ways. One for an induction, and second, to gain commitment. Practice it, get your words, have fun with it. See you soon.